Okay, in this video, I'm going to take you guys through some of my training tips, which have allowed me to see growth in my triceps. So let me get straight into it, bro. So whether I'm doing an arms day, a push day, a SARMs day, whatever day that I allocate to training my triceps, I always start with the lateral head. And therefore, my first tricep movement is a push down. These are a classic, but they are the go-to exercise for growing your triceps. I feel a great contraction, great mind-muscle connection, and I'm strongest on the push down. So it makes sense to train it first because it allows you to expend the most energy, the most intensity on the exercise, which one, you feel the best muscular contraction, and two, you're the strongest. So this is a nice recipe for generating hypertrophy. Also, when it comes to your triceps, I've found that if you start with an overhead extension, so like skull crushers or like cable overhead, dumbbell overhead extensions, then obviously these are great exercises, don't get me wrong, but they can be quite hard on your elbow. So I think it's better to be warm before you get into your overhead extensions. I found that this order of training maximizes muscle growth in my triceps and avoids me getting elbow pain over time. So yeah, starting off with a tricep cable push down. You can do these with an easy bar, a rope. What matters here is you feel your tricep flex at the top of the rep. And a good way to ensure that you are targeting and working your tricep is to pause in the contraction for 2 seconds. This is something I always do on my push downs to improve my mind muscle connection and to increase time under tension. That burning sensation you get, that juicy pump, that is a good indicator that your triceps are working. So use whatever attachment you could feel your triceps working. So here I do probably 2 sets followed by an intensity set, so 3 sets overall. So I do 2 working sets, 10 to 15 reps, and after I fail on my last working set, I'll do a rest pause or a drop set. I'll try getting sometimes like 5 partials after my last working set, just pushing as much blood into the tricep as possible. I've found maximizes muscle growth. I've also started doing heavy close grip bench press. This has added a lot of mass to my triceps, okay? It's a great mass builder as it targets both the medial and the lateral head. So 6 to 9 reps here, as heavy as you can go, using a weight that's challenging, but obviously that you can control, and really feeling the stretch at the bottom of the rep. Again, slow and controlled reps. Do like 2 to 3 sets. Also, from time to time, I've started doing underhand single arm tricep push downs. These are a great way to target the medial head of your tricep, and is another way which has allowed me to see additional growth in my triceps. So moving on, now that my elbows are warm, now that my triceps are pumped up, I move on to the exercises which target the long head of the tricep with overhead extensions, with dumbbells, with a cable, skull crushers with an easy bar. Personally, I prefer a cable for the constant tension, and it just feels more comfortable on my shoulders and on my elbows. I just think it's safer and more effective for tricep growth. But you know, I obviously still throw in some dumbbell movements in there for that variety, for that additional muscle stimulation. It's always good to perform same kind of exercises using different equipment. But obviously I cycle for like 6-week period. So 6 weeks I'll do one variation and then I'll move on to the next variation. And then I'll observe how that affects my tricep growth. Do I see additional progress? Do I not? Does it feel better? Do I enjoy it as much? But anyways, when I do my overhead cable extensions, I tend to switch it up. So I either attach the cable to the top of the stack and perform it like this, or at the bottom and perform it like this. What's important here is that you feel the stretch at the bottom of the motion. So I would suggest, and what I do is I pause for 2 seconds in the stretched position when doing my overhead extensions. So I'll do like 2 sets of 15 to 20 reps. I found that your triceps respond quite well to the slightly higher rep range. And something that I do once I fail after my last set is I pause in the stretched position. So I hold the stretch for 30 seconds after my last rep of my last set. This absolutely kills, but is so effective in generating more hypertrophy because it tears up more muscle fibers and it lets more blood into your tricep. But obviously this is a finisher, okay? Do not perform this when you're not warm. Don't perform this at the start or the middle of your workout. This is literally the last thing you do. This applies to a lot more muscle groups. Like say you finish your chest day with pec deck, okay? Once you failed in your last rep, you hold that stretched position on the pec deck. Or after you finish back day and you finish with lat pullovers, after you fail on your last set, your last rep, you hang off a pull-up bar for 30 seconds. Okay, now I'm gonna give you guys my 2 top exercises for tricep growth. Number 1, for targeting the long head, are katana extensions. What you want to do here is attach the cable to the stack on each side at around hip height, then grab each cable with each hand and extend your elbows outwards, flexing your triceps and controlling the eccentric on the way down, keeping your elbows and your shoulders locked in place so that you're keeping the tension only on the long head. And do like 3 sets of 10 to 20 reps. And last but not least, my favorite tricep exercise of all time, cross cable tricep extensions. You should definitely throw these into your training. I can't recommend this one enough. So again, grab each cable with each hand, take a step back, flare your elbows a bit, and extend and contract your arm through a full range of motion, okay? You want to feel that maximum contraction and that maximum stretch in your tricep. That is incredibly important for tricep growth. The great thing about these is that depending on your body position, depending on how high you attach the cable to the stack, determines what part of the tricep you bias. For example, I found that the more upright you are, the more you bias the lateral head. But I found found that if you bend over a bit, take a step back, bring your shoulders forward, retract your scapula, and push the weight behind you instead of down in front of you, it almost completely isolates the long head. And I'm pretty sure I feel a bit of medial head in there as well. Something I do here is, and something I do on a lot of my tricep movements, are stretch pauses. So what these are basically similar to pausing in the stretch position, 30-second pauses that I've talked about. Once you failed on your last set, you hold the stretch for 10 seconds, and this sort of counts as your rest period. Once you've waited 10 seconds in the stretch position, you go again from there to failure. So it really is an effective way to train triceps, and if you spam these, you're gonna grow big arms, you're gonna grow big triceps. Also, your tricep is a great muscle group to implement supersets with. So whether that's going from a push down to an extension, bench press to a skull crusher, push downs to dips is something I do. Supersets are a great way to increase the intensity of your workouts and another way to generate hypertrophy because you are pushing past failure. It's also a time effective way. You know, sometimes I'm pressed for time, so I'm like, let me just do a superset. So you get your bang for your buck by doing supersets as well. And that's pretty much it. That's all I do for my triceps at the moment. I found that these movements are effective in generating growth for me, but you might be different. So experiment with what I've said in this video. If your gym has any cool tricep machines, try those out, okay? See if you get an intense muscular contraction. See if it isolates the tricep really well. See if you get that burning sensation, that big pump. Also, one more thing. I know a lot of beginners struggle to feel their triceps actually working when they do their push downs or their overhead extensions. I remember, bro, I used to do tricep push downs and I'd literally feel it in my abs and my back. It did not make any sense and it was really frustrating. So for those of you who struggle to actually feel your triceps working when you're doing your push downs or your overhead extensions, I would suggest, and what's worked for me, is priming your triceps before you get into your working movements. So doing pre-activation movements. This will allow you to actually feel your triceps working better. So first is kickbacks, okay? Grab a set of dumbbells, light dumbbells, and perform tricep kickbacks. Do like 2 to 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps. These are really good in helping you activate and engage your triceps when you come onto your training. Another one is if you have a band in your gym, hook it onto a pull-up bar or whatever and just do band tricep pushdowns. 2 to 3 sets, 10 to 15 reps. Focus on contracting, focus on squeezing your triceps. This is another good priming movement which will help you improve your mind-muscle connection in your working movements. So to wrap up, hit your triceps twice a week using 2 exercises. You're throwing in some intensity sets in there. You're making sure to hit every head as much as you can, and that's it, okay? That's all you need to know to build monster triceps. These tips have helped me bring up my triceps, and I hope they'll do the same for you. If you want to see more videos like this of me talking through a workout or talking about how to target a specific muscle group, please let me know in the comments. Please drop a like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Going to be coming out with a video very soon, but until then, peace!